Milestones are achieved, more SovCit fails, and a noisy Welshman points out more flat earth stupidity. Those stories and more today as the plot thickens. Rack focus. Good afternoon, everyone. Johnny O from the Plot Hole here. It's time to wrap up some of our favorite stories. Yes, you're getting an avatar today. My eye is jacked up, and I didn't think you wanted to look at my ugly face any more than you had to. You're welcome. As we've said many times in the past, Flat Earth is dead, but some haven't received the memo. That's where everyone's favorite Welshman comes in.
Hi. Don't start. Hi. Stop it.
I'm not doing anything.
Tidy.
And today I'm thinking about the sky and how it just seems to me like the sky is lower than it used to be.
I just want to help flat earthers realize the errors of their way.
And now I know that there's a firmament above us, so I think it just seems to me like the firmament is lower than it used to be. Sometimes it's almost like I can see the firmament.
How can you see something that isn't there? Ah, yes, of course, because flat earth. Silly me.
Kind of in the same way as if you have a glass of water on the table, you can, even though it's see-through, you can kind of see it through its distortion. Sometimes I feel like I can see the firmament now. And I don't know if that's just because I'm awake now and I know it exists, or because it's lower.
Well, it's neither. But if I may offer my opinion as to why you think you can see a firmament, could be for a few different reasons. For example, you think you can see the firmament because you want to see it. Or you think you can see the firmament because the Bible tells you it's there, so it must be. Right? And if it must be there, it stands to reason that eventually a flat earther would claim to have seen it, even though it's not there. But since when has a flat earther let something being real get in the way of them believing it exists?
Creaky goes on to point out the simply stupid in this flat earth nonsense. Though, I'm sure that the response from the flat earthers will sound something like, you're just wrong, you're indoctrinated. In a moment of I told you so, Artie's corporate fiction read out the court decision on the Massachusetts Moors lawsuit.
What's going on, everybody? It's Artie from Artie's Corporate Fiction, and I hope you guys have been having a great Tuesday. Tonight we have some exciting news. I have to give a shout out to Scott in my Discord channel for posting this initially. As we all probably assumed and expected, the lawsuit, the defamation suit, that the Rise of the Moors characters, Jamal and company, has been summarily dismissed. And we're going to take a look at it. It's very short, but very sweet. So we're going to get right to it. And it, excuse me, it is Jamal and everybody else versus the Medford, Massachusetts State Police, Matthew McDevitt, Ryan Casey, Mike Sullivan, all of the remaining troopers, the Commonwealth, AT&T News, Comcast, News Corp, Viacom, CBS, and Emily Carstetter, the judge herself. So, order. Plaintiffs filed a pro se complaint against defendants, as well as 10 motions for leave to proceed in forma pauperis. I actually don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. I've only read it. I've never said it out loud. Anyway, and a motion to strike evidence and dismissed. When considering motions for IFP, the court is required to screen the complaint pursuant to 28 U.S.C. Section 1915 E2. Having done so, the court concludes the plaintiffs have failed to state a claim upon which relief may be granted, and thus dismisses their complaint and denies their motions.
Seriously, who didn't see this coming? Other than the morons filing the complaint, that is. This has to be one of the most egregious wastes of the court's time that we've all seen. Atheist preacher man and spiritual ghost hunter J.L. Warren recently surpassed 1,000 subscribers and celebrated with a long look at megachurch pastor John MacArthur.
Hey everyone, JL here, and welcome back to Bridge the Divide. Today, we're going to take a look at Pastor John MacArthur. Now, if that name isn't familiar to you, he's actually a pretty big deal in theist circles. Old MacArthur has been the leader of the non-denominational Grace Community Church, which is a mega church in Sun Valley, California since 1969. MacArthur also has an internationally syndicated radio and television program called Grace to You. He's written or edited more than 150 books, notably the MacArthur Study Bible, has released several albums, and is generally considered one of the most influential preachers of all time. And it certainly shows. Over the course of his life, he's amassed a personal net worth of around $20 million. He's the head of a religious education media empire with assets totaling over $130 million and generating over $70 million a year in tax-free revenue. All of this is, of course, on top of his six-figure salary doing part-time broadcast work for Grace to You, his six-figure salary from the Master's University and Seminary, book royalties, speaking fees, and his YouTube channel.
In a related story, your pal Al also surpassed 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations to you both. Cajun sensation Keeping It Criminal has a brief rundown. No kick, that's not when you go running down the street looking for your underwear. I swear.
Hey, welcome back to Keeping It Criminal. I am Kick, and today's short covers Tani I, one of my subscribers who has purchased a shirt from the merch store. If you're interested in getting some merch and showing it off, make sure to check the links in the description and shoot me an image on Instagram. Last Days of Freedom is begging for money yet again because his last days of freedom are about up.
So, Russellville, if you really want more lawsuits, go for it.
I hate this, I really do. I'm hoping that I can get some help here tonight.
He will be arrested soon and will end up having to turn himself in over at Russellville once he can find a way out of Tennessee because he has to beg for more money. In other news, Pro Se, previously known as Legalized Drugs but known to me as Dollar Store Pitbull who can't count to 4 in Spanish, has lost all copyright strikes against Schrodinger's cat. This just goes to prove that you will fade into the irrelevancy you deserve. Everyone else have a great day, be well, and of course, be good to each other.
Fraudit and SovCit watcher Van Balian released another fire video. Does that make me look hip? Think the kids will watch now? Just roll the clip.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. I've got a traffic stop out of
Minot
in North Dakota. But it's not the driver or the stop we are really interested in. It's the passenger in the vehicle who thinks it's a violation of his Fourth Amendment rights for the officer to ask for his details, then remove him from the vehicle for their safety. Right, let's get into it.
Okay, great. What crime am I committing?
You're gonna walk back my
What
vehicle.
crime am I committing?
I just want you to go back to my vehicle.
No, you're trying to ID, but you have to have a crime that I committed. For you to
I'll
give me
tell
the
you to
name.
move back to my vehicle.
Okay, fine, let's go. Nope.
Yes, you can.
Nope.
Yes, you can.
You're not searching me.
I'm not gonna search you, but I'm gonna put you in handcuffs. because
Why?
right now you're a safety concern.
Why? You can't detain me if I'm not committing a crime.
I can't detain you.
An officer can absolutely detain you, even in handcuffs if necessary, to resolve a situation. Such temporary detainment is for the safety of everyone on the scene. You've been watching too many First Amendment auditors and sovereign citizens on YouTube.
Leave it to a foreigner to know the laws of the states better than a frauditor or a SovCit. Good on you, Van Balian. Finally, I'd like to follow up on the story about YouTube and its badly managed content striking system. Obviously, videos like the one put out by everyone's least favorite water heater hugger demanding people who have no issue with objective reality go find a tall cliff and test gravity should be removed from YouTube. Hint, it wasn't. That video stayed up until Pratt's channel was ultimately deleted for repeated content violations. Yeah, he was allowed to tell people to self-harm, yet videos like this get the shaft.
I'm here with Nepenthes by Electro Foods, and this is legitimately the heaviest distortion I could find. Hey guys, a lot of you are asking where the Nepenthes harp distortion video went, and unfortunately YouTube took this video down because someone flagged it falsely for violating child safety policies.
Right. That creator had a simple video of her experience playing a harp through a distortion pedal, which, to be quite frank, is one of the most awesome sounds I've ever heard. Oh, you play an 8-string, do you, Tosin Abasi? Well, she plays a fucking harp. Eat your heart out, Tosin. And while that video should be flagged for being awesome, Emily Hopkins now has to fight YouTube because some fuckwit flagged her video, and because YouTube can't do anything without the algorithm. Hopkins will lose on loads of views she's certainly supposed to get. And that's the problem. YouTube gives the power to the accuser. The content creator, who's in a contract with YouTube and has a vested interest in following the rules, has to play the long game when someone pulls these stunts. The problem with the long game is that the algorithm that decides what channels and videos to promote looks at the short game. How well a video does in its first few hours, days, etc. affects how much YouTube promotes the video and the channel. Once again, most content creators have no issues with the rules. Yes, sometimes we like to push the envelope a bit, but a harp through a distortion pedal? Really, YouTube? And that's our show. Be sure to hit that like button on your way to the next video. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Share this on the Facebooks and Twitters, as that seems to help the channel the most. We've got memberships, Patreon, merchandise, whatever, if you wish to support the show monetarily. As always, I'm Johnny O, and I'll be sure to keep you updated as the plot thickens.